Now, Everton manager Sean Dyche says his side's second half defending against Newcastle last night was too soft, as his side lost 4-1 at Goodison Park. The result means Everton stay second from bottom of the Premier League with just 5 games to go. Well, Les Roberts is from the Blue Room podcast, a lifelong Evertonian, and joins us today. Les, a very good morning to you.
Morning, Sean. You all right? That was quite an ironic song choice, that, wasn't it?
Yes, it would have been a beautiful day. Or it could have been a beautiful day. But, do you know, I was there last night, as I always am, and we tried the thing again where we bring the coach in. I don't think that worked with the same passion last night, did it?
No, I think the atmosphere is very different to this time last season, isn't it? I think last season we had someone like Richarlison and we could all sort of get behind, like a bit of a talisman for us, and pretty much dragged that team through with some, vital goals to get, the odd point against Leicester and points here and there. But I think this season we just haven't got that, and it just feels quite draining, to be honest. You look at the team that's out there, and the defending was bad enough, but there's no goals in there.
No, there's not.
It's sort of, you look at the Fulham game, let's say, and it was like as soon as all those chances went begging at the end of the first half, Fulham scored the second at the beginning of the second half. The confidence just drained from the players and the crowd, and there's a very different atmosphere.
I don't know about you, Les, but I get this feeling that the mentality, when we go a goal down, the mentality is, well, we're not going to win this.
Yeah.
We're one down. When are we going to score 2 goals? We can't score one the best of times. But I was so disappointed because we were in the game at 0-0 until they scored, weren't we?
Yeah, I think even at 1-0, if that Calvert-Lewin chance doesn't get ruled out for offside, I've not seen it back actually, but I've seen some stills of it, and it looks a bit marginal, to say the least. But I think if that goes in, there's a different complexion going into half time. The crowd are more up for it coming out into the second half. But as you say, the collapse in that second half, the defending put me in mind of, do you remember when we got beat 5-2 by Watford?
Yeah, I do.
And they scored 4 goals in the last 15 minutes or something. It was like that again. And I thought Dyche would get that out of their system. But I think he's as culpable as anyone, really. You look at them last night.
I totally agree. And I'm looking at the papers and the marks out of 10. 2 out of 10, some of the players got 2 out of 10. And that's not acceptable. And this is all, the chickens have come home to roost now, Les, as far as I'm concerned, because we knew when that window was closing, this is only one of the reasons, when that window was closing on transfer deadline day, now they will argue, we tried to bring players in, but they didn't try hard enough because they didn't bring anyone in.
Exactly. It was the same in August as well, wasn't it? If you look, I think we had 5 games in August because the season kicked off dead early. And we didn't get a striker in. I think Calvert-Lewin was injured then. We just sold Richarlison, and it was obvious we needed goals from somewhere. And we threw away results. I think did we play Villa in August, and they were in a bad way, and we beat us.
That's right.
I think we drew a home to Forest, and they've not been able to win away all season, really. And they got a point against us. So I think we threw it away in August, but then we had another chance in January and completely blew it. As you say, it's all very well saying we're going to get a striker in, but if you're scrambling around on the 31st of January trying to get a lone striker in, you're knackered, aren't you?
Of course, and then, we had players choosing to join Southampton ahead of Everton. Now, that can't be right. With the greatest respect to Southampton, they were in a worse situation than us when that happened.
Yeah, well, you kind of wonder, don't you, what the sort of feeling is about the club within the football circle. So we've all got our own feelings about it, and we kind of know what's going on from what we're given. But you kind of think, if the agents talk to each other and they're looking at Everton and thinking, I don't know, it's not even worth going near that. Look at Dan Juma going to Tottenham.
Yeah,
that exactly. That didn't suit him at all. If Richarlison can't get in, I don't know why he thought he's going to get in that side.
I agree.
He barely played, but it's obviously a better option than coming to Everton because it just seems like a terrible place to be at the minute.
Well, a mate of mine hit me with a stat last night, Les, and my mate Kevin said, Sean, this could be the last Premier League game under the lights at Goodison Park.
That's terrifying, that, isn't it?
I'm working out, it's true. If we go down, right, by the time we get back, we won't be at Goodison Park. So he said this could be the last time we play under the lights at Goodison Park. Now, but why have we ended up here? We were in this situation last season, right? Why are we here again? Did you think Frank Lampard's tenure lasted too long?
Yeah, I think it definitely. I mean, it's easy to say with hindsight, but you look at those 2 games against Bournemouth, and the writing should have been on the wall there. Even going into defeat against Wolves, because I think they were bottom, weren't they, when they played us on Boxing Day?
Yeah.
Came and won. Should have gone after that. Should have gone after Southampton. Should have gone after Man United. I think he eventually went after West Ham. But there's 3 or 4 games there, even once like that Bournemouth thing's out the way. There's 3 or 4 games where a club should have said, right, you're going now, and they never. And if I don't think Dyche has been great, but I think had he been in for the Southampton game, let's say, I don't think we get beaten that game.
Yeah, really.
And it's they've just like prevaricated too long again, haven't they? Like they did the same with Benitez last year.
Exactly.
It's bad recruitment of players and potentially even worse recruitment of managers. And it's been coming, hasn't it?
So Les, what's the solution? Make me feel better, please.
Oh, blimey. That's the question, isn't it? I honestly think we're pretty much done this season. I can't see us getting another point. I think the only way we get out of this is if there's 2 teams that are worse than us. It's remarkably there could be. But moving forward, looking ahead to next season, it just needs a complete clean sweep. It just, it needs better recruitment. Get decent players in. The world beaters by any stretch. Just go play. You have to really be competent in the Premier League because it's not brilliant. You've just got to be a competent side, and we're not that. So I think it's just try and nail the recruitment. It's just basic stuff, isn't it? That's the job of a football club. Buy players, sell tickets, and I don't think they're very good at either.
No, you're right, and the lack of goals. I mean, it's again the game is about scoring goals, and we haven't got. We're toothless. I said to my lad last night after about 20 minutes, it's just so predictable, and you can't see us where we're going to score.
Well, that's the worry, isn't it? It's like I go back to the Fulham game, and we probably created about 3 or 4 really good chances just before half time. Didn't score any of them. And you can sort of have a dig at the defence because they've been bad as well. But when you're not scoring up one end, it naturally puts more pressure on the defence to keep a clean sheet. And then once that defence is cracked, the whole team falls apart because you think, well, we're not getting back into this now. And it does come down to those transfer windows.
And what I was thinking the other day, and you might laugh at this, because I'm going back now to Mick Lyons when he played, and when he played at centre-half, and they used to put him up front. I would do that with Jerry Mina.
Do you know what? I've been saying the same for a few weeks about Michael Keane. Look at that finish against Palace last season, the way he finessed it in, and the one against Tottenham. It's like you might as well give it a go. Do you know the thing that really flagged me last night was that Damari Gray didn't get on the pitch and Ellis Sim didn't get on the pitch before Neil Maupay. I don't know how we saw that as the substitution to make when you've got those other 2 lads on the bench. It's very, very strange. Do
you know what? I get in the car and made me lad have the post-mortem on the way home. And last night we were silent because it was almost an acceptance, Les. But obviously you don't know. Football's not as predictable as this. And, what about the podcast? What's the feeling?
We all went back to Newcastle last night, did our post-match dissection of it. And it's a pretty grim mood, to be honest. I think there's a lot of resignation. There's a little bit of gallows humour in there. You can still have a laugh.
Yeah, of course.
But I think there's a bit of resignation there now. As I said, it's very different to last season. I think the one thing Lampard did well last season was he brought the fan base together.
Yeah,
and that made a difference last season. This season we've not got that, and I don't think people are like fighting with each other, but there's just an apathy, isn't there? You look at Goodison last night, as you say, under the lights, potentially the last time in the Premier League, and it was flat for the most part. It was just. And I just don't know what the answer is really. I think we've just got to hope we can ride this one out again, and then really make some changes right across the club.
If by some miracle now we do get out of trouble here, this cannot happen again. We can't be in this position again, and they've got to absolutely make sure that it won't happen again. And as you say, there's got to be wholesale changes right through the club, and they've got to start again, I think, because I'm driving past that every time I'm coming to work. I'm driving past the new stadium. I feel like crying, Les.
Yeah, well, Matthew does the podcast with us. He always says we can't enjoy it. You should be going past on the train or driving past thinking, I can't wait to get in there. It's going to be brilliant. But the state of the team and the state of the club, you're looking at it and you're thinking, before you're not even going to fill it, is it going to be a bit of a millstone around the club's neck now? We can't even enjoy getting like what will be the country's best stadium built on the Mersey, and we can't enjoy it. It's just there's no.
Because we won't have the profile, Les. If you go out the Premier League, on Match of the Day, Sky don't want to know. You might get a Friday night every 2 months or something.
Yeah.
you're losing your profile, and it's. Les, I feel worse having had you on the show.
Sorry, you probably couldn't have got a more pessimistic blue if you tried, to be honest.
At least we can laugh about it, Les. Fingers crossed.
There's
We
always
can
that, mate.
roll our socks up, and
You never know.
You never know with Everton.
There could be two teams worse than us. Let's just hang our hats on that one, eh?
Let's cross our fingers. Les, always a pleasure, mate. Thanks for coming on today.
Nice,
Good luck with Blue Room podcast. Great listen.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. See you later.